It's recording now.
Yes.
So just give me a moment. Can everyone see the slide?
Yes.
Yes.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session so late at 7 p.m. India time. And I'm Ankit. I'm host of the day today. I am from CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accounting, UK. We are doing this session with the collaboration of Mr. Sharaf ji. And the topic of the session is CIMA test session on leadership under global crisis and CIMA program experiences. Now, let me introduce our prestigious member, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar Pani. He's here today. He's an independent finance professional with passion of information technology. As per his education, he's chartered accountant in 1994. He's CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, fellow member CGMA, Chartered Global Management Accountant in 2019. He have even completed forensic audit and fraud detection in 2020, ITIL. I don't know the full form, but he will definitely share about it. So about Mr. Sanjeev, Sanjeev has spent around 26 years in industry working in various critical and complex role at the different senior level of the organization. He's a strategist and has successful reorganized finance and commerce function with all process automation. He is process focused and always enjoy starting something new and re-engineering the organization for the better result. He is a techno finance professional and takes pride in working on technology along with finance people person and excellent team player. After a successful tenure in manufacturing the IT solution services and MNC banks, Sanjeev has quit his corporate roles to start his own practice as independent finance professional. He's currently focused on audit, accounting, compliance, and CFO services. He's associated as a part-time CFO for a pharmaceutical startup, which has born during the lockdown 2021. Past engagements worked with Standard Chartered Bank, head of management, reporting I am as a vice president. From Feb 2015 to 2020, he worked with Logica, now CGI, on various roles in corporate planning, finance and project program, IT services, worked with Oracle India, worked with Voltas Limited. Now, let me move to the Sharaf sir profile. As I'm sure he's a very well-known person in with the students. But yes, let me share his profile. Mr. Sharaf is a founder and the CEO of the Sharaf Academy. Recognized business leader, Mr. Sharaf started the company Sharaf Academy with the aim to provide world-class education to the student across the globe in the domain of finance, accounting, and business. Mr. Sharaf graduated with a first class in BCom from Calcutta University. He's a chartered accountant with a first class from the ICI, Institute of Chartered Accountant India. He also holds the Masters in Finance along with both a CFA and CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountant qualified. Mr. Sharaf is a passionate teacher, aimed to make all his students impeccably brilliant in academics, along with making them an irreplaceable asset in their professional life. He tries to inspire and mentor the students at every step of the way so that they are able to stay ahead of their accounting and finance professional peers. The future is now, and it is a future of technology. Mr. Sharaf believes in staying updated in order to deliver quality education at the doorstep of every student in any part of our global village. With his infectious energy, he connects with each student and tries to make the difference at the most basic level. Contrary to theory-based learning, Mr. Sharaf emphasizes concept-based practical education. He simplifies student matters and explain them, encouraging his students to think logically so that they can become capable entrepreneurs and make the difference in the world. So matter where they are, always smile and just paragon of patience, either hell or high waters can put him down. He loves what he does and lives in his students as inspiration to all. A beautiful quote by him: "You will not fail unless you really want to fail," is what he tells every student at Sharaf Academy. So this about our speaker of the day, and I with me one of my colleagues, Sugandha, is also from CIMA. We both represent CIMA. So now I give the dice to Mr. Sanjeev to enlighten the audience, please.
Thanks, Ankit, and thanks to CIMA for giving me this opportunity to talk to this group of aspiring CIMA. And before we start, I again wanted to introduce myself. I mean, what do I do? Though Ankit took a long read of my small profile, it's my 26 years in the industry, and I have been working in various roles and various responsibilities during this 26 years. And I have, though I'm a chartered accountant with a finance as my background, but I have always tried to be ahead of the time and try to pick up whatever is necessary at that point of time to be more successful. And as that happened, I became more IT oriented. And most of my roles were in reorganizing and handling certain kind of IT implementation, digitization. So that is how I'm back in ITI. And let me tell about the ITIL, which Ankit said a moment. It's the IT Infrastructure Library. It is one of the service management certifications, and I'm a practitioner in that. And I typically this originated again in UK, and this they talk about different life cycle of service management in IT industries. So my hobby is both finance and IT. That's about me. And yes, at present I'm just working with a startup, and this gives me a very good idea about understanding about what we are going through, and maybe I'll be able to share some of my ideas and views during this. Ankit, if you want to play the slides.
Yeah, sure.
See, basically, by the time the slide comes up, basically, we all have been working in different part of our job, and during that job, we might have already faced various crises. It may not maybe a localized crisis. It may be very specific to the city. It may be specific to the business where we are in. It may be specific to the company, corporate where we are in. But we all have gone through certain crises. And crisis is nothing new for us. We have all learned during this phase how to handle, how to sail through this crisis. And many times these crises are not only, uh, it gives you a lot of opportunity to do something which you have never done till today. And I have been working with Standard Bank till 2028 from 2015 onwards, around 5-6 years in Chennai. And if all of you remember 2015 December, there was a flooding in Chennai, which was again unprecedented situation where nobody expected that the entire city is going to be submerged and the entire infrastructure going to collapse. And this is something called crisis. So crisis is nothing abnormal. It is quite normal. It keeps on coming. It will appear, reappear, and it's not that we have never going to be out of any crisis. Uh, Ankit, maybe to the next slide.
Just
See,
wait.
thought before we discuss, we can go into the PPT mode if that helps. Normal. Yeah.
This one.
Next one. Yeah. See, I just thought maybe it will be a good idea to theoretically understand what is crisis, though it's nothing new, as I said. Maybe the previous slide, please. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. I just wanted to have an idea. I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, I have just picked up a definition from the crisis from the Google, and I tried to little analyze this and understand what do we call it as a crisis. Crisis is, and there might be various different versions of this definition. Uh, it is nothing but an unstable, crucial time or a state of affairs which is highly unpredictable. Why it becomes an unpredictable? Because there are a lot of uncertainty involved in it, and it is unpredictable because it's something new, maybe something we have never seen in our life, and it just comes out of somewhere and starts challenging us. And typically, why we are worried about crisis, it is always because of the undesirable outcome. Because nobody would like to get stuck in the road. It's because there is a flood. Nobody would like to stop going to office because I can't. The roads are already flooded. Nobody would be interested in getting locked up inside the house the way we did it from 2020 until today. Uh, Everything, all our movements have got restricted. These are undesirable outcomes. Many people have lost their life. Many people have lost their livelihood. So it's something undesirable outcome, and that is what makes it crisis. And it typically, if you really look at all the crises, I mean, there is a pattern. Uh, there are various ways people say there are 4 phases, and some people say it is around 6 phases. And maybe I would say it goes somewhere around the 6 phases where you go through a warning kind of scenario where you get some kind of hint that there is something which is coming, which is going to be very uncomfortable. And at that moment, what happens? Everybody gets into the risk assessment mode. You would like to understand what exactly we are talking about. Think about 2019 when we started hearing that there is something which is coming up. It could be a global crisis for everyone. We didn't know what it is, and many of us, even I felt we might be out of the office for maybe a couple of days or week or maybe month. But ultimately, we have completed more than a year. So uh, everybody would like to get into that scenario, understand what is the risk, what is happening, what do I do, and information is limited. If it is a known scenario, then we know how to handle it. We can manage whatever we know it, and these risks and this kind of crisis which comes up are very unpredictable, and we don't have any history. Maybe tomorrow if similar pandemic comes, and we can always correlate with this corona COVID situation, and we can always try to find out solutions from our past history. But we still this, and maybe that is for the future. You get into the response, you start managing it, and somewhere you come out of it. But if you really look at, I mean, when people say that there is a pattern, there is appropriate planning can be done to minimize. But one beauty, or maybe most interesting part of this crisis is that we don't know anything. We didn't know anything. Possibly now we have started learning something. Possibly there are some data available, and possibly we have started understanding the crisis. So this is something about crisis. It's nothing new. It comes, but the size of it, the unpredictableness of it, the impact of it makes it more. So how big was that? I mean, when this started in 2020, I also attended few of such talks, few of these webinars, and everyone had a few numbers coming up in their slides. And I thought even I will keep some slide numbers. I mean, the numbers, if you really see, which is maybe after we have crossed around 1 year, more than 1 year into this scenario, and this is the number. And looking at 90% of recovery out of 24.2 crores. Yeah, Ankit, I noted. Thank you. Uh, so 24 crores, and India had around 3 crores of infected. But this is only a number. This is only a statistic. But there are a lot lies behind it. And the worst thing is that it challenged all of us, which we thought is normal for us, our mobility, our safety, and the normalcy of our life. This all got challenged because these we thought, nobody thought that you will be restricted. Nobody thought that you will be stopped to go out of your house. Nobody thought that you can't just walk into the next shop and buy something. So these are unprecedented situations which we have already gone through it. And this is 24.2 crore is only a number, but the indirect impact and the numbers are much higher. Okay, let's go back to the next one. Now, as we said, yeah, Ankit, next one.
This one?
I just, yes, no, the previous one. I just tried to keep something. I mean, it is, there is nothing much. Let's go back to the previous one. I just wanted to give some idea about what kind of impact. I mean, these are nothing new. Everybody has gone through, everybody has understood whatever is the kind of the migration, the worker migration happened. Let's go back to the next one, Ankit. Migration of the laborers from cities to the rural. That itself was a big issue. Factories got closed. The economic activities got stopped. There was a lot of job loss happened. Essentials, the supply part of the essentials was a big problem, and there was no demand for non-essential items because everybody was trying to uh, keep their cash or the liquidity out of fear because no, so a lot impact has already have been seen by all of us. We have seen how the power demand seeing the Indian GDP was projection was shown as bad, reducing, and we all expected because the economic activity has already gone into a halt. And the second impact was one of the major, and whatever we thought maybe we are recovering, the most of the cities started opening their to getting into the normal life. The election started in different parts of the country. Even the whole, I think it was a Holi and then the election, and there was a games in Chhattisgarh, and so many events started, and everybody started. We are coming back to normal, but again the uncertainty repeats. The cycle got repeated. So the second wave was another major surprise, and we saw a lot more impact in terms of shortage in bed, shortage of oxygen, and and we all know what we have already gone through. I'll get the next one. So if we really look at, are we out of it? We talked about a crisis. We have all faced this crisis. We know a lot of numbers. We have read a lot of numbers. And as of yesterday, I think we have around 100 crores of vaccination. The vaccination is one of the maybe one of the satisfaction that we are coming out. There is a chance that if more majority of population is vaccinated, and the economy may be able to open up, maybe the normalcy will start and we will be able to come back to our normal life. But FDIs, if you see the pipeline, I mean, this is what the very latest in data which the FDIs into India has really growing, and these are the committed numbers which we have. So confidence of the economy is increasing, and that also GST collection is another indicator that economic activity has started. So GST collection is 30% more on year basis. I mean, 30% more, maybe same period of the last year, 30%. If you compare with that, 30% may be looking a little odd, but it's a good indication. And if we look at the Indian stock market, the world stock market, along with this kind of pandemic, we are doing well in somewhere, and that all depends on the maturity of our economy and how strong we are at this point of time. So similarly, your import exports has also improved. So can we say that these few indicators are really giving us a good satisfaction that we are out of it? And the government has also done a lot of grants and tried to channelize its fund wherever it is required, trying to give support to those families or the populations who needed immediate necessity, their essential items, and those sectors which needed support till they are up and running, the concessional loans. So government has done, and if you really look at it, was not an easy part for any of the government, because nobody knew that how big is this monster. Nobody understood how big it's going to impact, and nobody knew that where it is going to impact, how many people I mean, very clearly example when so many people came on road, the laborers came on road and they wanted to go back to their own hometown. It might be because of the safety, it might be because of they're losing confidence in the city where they were leaving, that maybe because they lost their job. Uh, but nobody expected. And this is a good opportunity, I would say. If I want to be a little optimistic, then I would say this is a good opportunity for everyone, including the government, the industry, the commerce people, common people, you and me, everybody, to understand that how can be more resilient in future. What do I need? I mean, how do I design my finance, my livelihood, my style of working, my company, my organization, and how do I make myself more resilient to such kind of impact in future? And maybe that is where I would say, see, I always advocate, I always in favor of continuing our education, continuing our higher educations, and learning something new. And we will come back when I talked about the leadership in the current scenario. I'll also talk about a little bit around our educational learning also. Uh, but this is a good opportunity for every one of us to learn. We learned, the world learned, and hopefully this learning is going to give us a lot of support when if there is a third wave, or if other than COVID, there is something else comes up in the future. And I would say, I would say, out of my own experience, if I really look back my previous organization, maybe Chennai flood of 2015 helped us to start working from home. And today, what we are saying, working from home, working from anywhere, working from how do you manage in a crisis, how the communication should happen between the leaders, how the leaders should organize themselves, how the decisions has to be taken. All this a lot in a small scale was tasted at that point of time. Maybe a demonetization was one of the blessings. The startups, the IT digitizations, where your last mile deliveries by Flipkart, maybe by Amazon, and many new players. Many of these players came up during this pandemic stage, and they reorganized themselves. I know very clearly one point of time we were not in a position to even get our basic groceries. And I think everybody knows Big Basket is one of the good brand name here in Bangalore. I think they are also into other metros, and they used to deliver with a lag of 7 to 8 days. And within 15 days, 15 to 20 days, they started recovering, and they were back. I mean, that was something, how a leader really reacts, and it takes the opportunity in his favor during such a crisis scenario. So, Ankit, will keep moving to the next. So, possibly we learned something. And if you really look at, I mean, I have taken some McKinsey's one prediction which came out in somewhere 2020. It very clearly says, okay, maybe something is improving, something is changed. We got some things in place. We learned from the last 1 year of pandemic situation. And but still, uh, if there is no mutation, if COVID doesn't mutate into a new mutation and some, maybe we will still need to another 5 years to recover. So the crisis is not over. Crisis maybe, uh, if you really look at, maybe at first it looks like it's reducing. It's reducing its own impact, but nothing is over. We still have a long way to go. 5 years. There are major sectors. I mean, everybody knows that hospitality sector is highly affected. Tourism related to hospitality is again affected. The aviation sector, the travels has been restricted. That sector is still in problem. Automobile have started just picking up, but if you don't have money, if you want to preserve your money, you may not spend on your automobiles. You and real estate, since all people have moved out from major cities, the real estate has also gone into a problem. So these are few major sectors which will get into problem, and it will take little longer time to recover. Even educational services. And the good thing about the education services that they could able to adopt the new normal, and the online educations, online training has really picked up, and that has helped this sector to, but still our children need to go back to the schools and their physical mode of education. We'll go to the next slide, Ankit. So let me come back to the leadership part of it. And leadership, as we say, uh, leaders are different, and leaders at this point of time of crisis, they need to know how to manage, and how they should be able to. So I have just put certain pointers out here, which based on my experience, and based on whatever I understood during this 1.5 year. uh, a leader, a financial leader, the finance leaders are nothing less than a CEO too. So the CFO is more knowledge, more plays a very critical role in an organization like a CEO plays, as he's the custodian of financial assets, and he knows how to recover and how to use and where to use the financial assets. So he need to take up, and we all are finance guys sitting in this room today, and we are all have certain kind of responsibility as a finance leader. So what is the first thing which we would like to know? I mean, this is something, uh, you need to lead the communication. You need to ensure that the appropriate communication happening, and we are not communicating something in panic. We are not, communication is something which is straight, open, and very clear, and it should not be just that we are creating another panic. Like, fund is a situation, is a problem, collection is not happening, we are not able to liquidate our stocks, the market revenue has come down, my segment has going down, we can't go with the big projects, the projects are being shelved, people will have to do a cost reduction, let's see how many people can go out. I mean, these are all negative statements which may go around, it may spoil the entire company. It's forget about only the financial numbers. We may be looking at the numbers, but the entire impact may continue and may have much more. So during these communications, please ensure that what do you want? I mean, to communicate more do's, and please don't give the communication. Don't say what are the don'ts to be done. So don'ts are most negative part of communications. And at this point of crisis, and do's is the best way of communicating, so that the communication is much clearer and the people with us. See, if you really look at in this particular slide, which I have tried to really focus on the leader, one side of the leadership. So leadership is not just talking about the organization. See, I'm a leader, but organization needs me. And for that, there is a people side of the leader. And this is what I have tried to focus on this part of it. So very quickly, I want to focus on the people side of it. And when communication has to be done, you need to take care of your people, the people whom you need, the people who will be working with you. You need to take care of them. And when we call our team, our people, they are not the only one who is dependent on, or who should be the only point of contact, or would be the only concern. What we should also have understand what is their family doing, where they are. I mean, do I know if Mr. X, who is working with me, taking care of my credits or my collections, what is his Where is he? Is he in Bangalore? He is in Chennai, or he has gone back to Tirupati, or maybe to a smaller part of city because of this lockdown. I mean, where is he? Does he have school-going children? Possibly he has a smaller house where the children are also studying there. Possibly he is stretching himself to do the household activities at the same time trying to help his elderly parents. Uh, and yes, Ankit, I will try. Give me 5 more minutes. Uh, and you have elderly people inside the house. So which a leader will have to understand the problem, what his people might be going through, and they need to uh, be aware of such situation and ensure if I can give them the flexibility at the same time because they have committed, they are returning, they are able to contribute to the organizations, how well I can support their family and ensure that he is contributing. At the same time, it comes to yourself. Don't ignore the self, because if I'm active, if able to handle, because there are many cases where during this is a stressful moment where everybody can be highly expected to work more than 10 hours to 12 hours in office. Maybe we have been working 9 to 10 hours plus 2 to 3 hours in traveling, but when you are at home you tend to work more than 15, 16 hours, 17 hours, and at the same time you have your own pressure from coming from your family. So don't overwork. You need to understand where you have to balance, focus on your physical health, and you need to give some family time. And family time is a must, because again, if they are fine, then you are in a good position to support your organization. So this is a very different aspect which I wanted to cover, because in my this discussion, I just didn't want to portray a leader as only a person who talks about the balance sheet, P&L, and but I think all balance sheet, the P&L and the numbers get added only because when we perform, our people perform, and we put together, and that is how the things are. Ankit, quickly we'll go in the last slide, I feel. Yeah, very quickly. This is the last most. Uh, this is the time, as I mean, this is where I wanted to focus on as a finance leader, what you can look at this point of time. Look at the liquidity. I mean, it's nothing new for this the finance community, which is here to understand what is the liquidity and how why increased cash flow is required, and maybe the best ways to optimize your operating spendings and preserve some cash. And maybe at this point of time, look at your long-term commitments in terms of the capex and the whatever you have been committed. Can certain projects can be put on the hold till we have better clarity and the financial position improves. That's one of the things we do. Do some scenario planning. It's a little bit of forward looking. I think we have covered considerable part of this crisis, and this is the right time to look at forward looking and understand. And by this time, you have enough number crunching might have happened, and you might be also looking into what to do next and how best we can do. How do I reorganize my portfolio? Is it the right time to look into my business model? Do I have to look for some best way of enhancing either inorganically, maybe organically, maybe may not be an easy option unless we have some innovations or the opportunities which has been tapped during this period, which we would like to utilize and expand. Inorganically, do I look for a merger acquisitions, do some number crunching, do some scenario planning, involve, you know, don't try to be forecast fortune teller kind of thing. Being in finance, people will look at finance guys as if they are the guys who are going to do some miracle to improve. It may not happen. So involve the entire team, all part of the organizations, and rethink about the business model and do some scenario planning. And at the same time, another interesting factor which I feel one can look at as a, yeah, this is a time to show strength. Can you try to show that yes, we are hiring, we are not got impacted so heavily, and we are looking forward. Now we are coming out. This is the time the graduates which you have been planning to hire. Can you hire them? Many organizations, if you said they have started this year's hiring has rather improved. I mean, what the latest number, what I heard is around 20+ % of hiring. At the same time, attrition has gone up. So things are moving in and around. So can I so start showing strength? Can I show to the world that we are expanding? Can we start making some investments into the new opportunities? So this is one of the opportunities and look forward looking contribution what we can do. So as a finance leader, there are many things what we can do as we understand. We are not only number crunchers, but we understand the business. We understand the entire business. We understand the economy. We understand the global crisis much well in terms of its root cause, how it has impacted our numbers and how we can come out of it. So this is the right time for the leaders to come into action and start doing something. So Ankit, that's maybe a small talk, though I think I might have taken a few minutes extra. So back to you, Ankit.
It's perfectly fine, Mr. Sanjeev. Thank you so much for your thought, what you have shared with all our audience. I would request audience for your questions. We will keep it for the for 10 minutes of the session. Now I request our star faculty, Mr. Sharafji, to enlighten the audience, please.
Thank you, Ankit, and thank you, Sanjeev ji. It's a pleasure to hear from you the crisis situation and how to manage the crisis. Now, actually, our objective, all of you who have joined today, is basically to know about CIMA qualification, the qualification for professionals, and I will say that those who are working in the industry for around at least 5, 7, 10 years, maybe professionally qualified, maybe CA, CWA, MBA, may not be professionally qualified, but at least a graduate and working in the organization for quite number of years. How can the CIMA qualification will help you to what you are there, suppose from X to 5X, or I will say at least conservatively 3X. Whether the qualification can help us to get that what we want. If we are doing job in an organization at managerial level, at a strategic level, how the qualification will groom us, how the qualification will help us that I will be able to serve the organization better. The second thing is that if I'm doing business, I'm not working somewhere, that by the qualification, whether I will be able to take my business to the next level, whether I will be able to become more competitive. That's all which is required by any qualification, whether we talk of CIMA or any other qualification. Now, believe me, I'm, you can say, engaged in teaching CIMA since 2009. We are the oldest learning partner in India, and I have developed myself, you can see, by studying the curriculum which CIMA is offering. After every 4 to 5 years, CIMA Institute changed their syllabus guidelines. And the beauty of this course is the case study exam, which they launched in 2015. And for the last 7 years, they are running the case study based exams, which is not a technical study, that a business cannot be managed by opening the books. Like suppose Sanjeev ji was saying about crisis management. Now the question is that if my organization is, say, in, I will say, in sports industry, or maybe in entertainment industry, maybe in hotel, we can read so many things from different places. But if I am the key man, if I am the leader person in the organization, how can I help the organization to solve the crisis? And according to me, crisis is not only a problem. Crisis can be arising even in a boom situation. The economy is going very well, but still some problems arises in my organization. The CIMA case study exam is focusing on managing the crisis. How you can manage your business, how you can manage the organization where you are working in practical sense, be it human beings, HR, be it IT, be it finance, be it accounting, be it management accounting, be it dealing with the board members, be it dealing with the stakeholders. A conclusive study is provided by the CIMA Institute. The beauty, as I'm saying, the case study exam, that you need to be slightly technically equip yourself relating to finance, accounts, auditing, internal control, risk management, and then apply that knowledge in the practical world in exam. A student cannot pass the exam unless and until they are practical oriented. They have to be 100% practical to the business situation. They are given the position in the organization as a finance manager, senior finance manager, and you are dealing with the issues which the organization is facing. They are case study, hypothetical write-up, but those case studies are purely practical oriented, taken from the market data. I will say that suppose somebody is doing MBA from Harvard University, somebody is doing MBA from top university of the world, then whatever type of study practically they do, SEMA Institute has incorporated that into the syllabus, which is the beauty of the course, which will definitely increase your knowledge, potential, your skills to grow in life. And SEMA Institute is the first institute which launched the online home-based, remote-based exams. That is when the pandemic was there in 2020. Then in the month of May, SEMA Institute launched the online exam. You all know that there are so many exams in Indian institutes and in many institutes. The exams could not take place because of the pandemic and students were wasting their time. But the students from the SEMA Institute are allowed to give exam without wasting their time at the comfort of their house, and that is purely ethical. Taking care of that the students should not be able to do any unethical means. By that way, the exams were conducted. So it's, you can see, SEMA Institute is future thinking oriented, and they are more than 100-year-old institute. Most of the top corporates in the world are always looking at SEMA qualified members with a different level, because the members can help them in a different guidelines altogether. Now, that you can do research at your own personal level, the knowledge which the SEMA Institute is offering to their members, to their, on the basis of compulsory professional education, those who are studying, what type of curriculum and all that they are testing. At the same time, SEMA Institute is analyzing your existing qualification, existing work experience, that if you know something, maybe 100% technically bookish knowledge you don't have, but you have done that and you know that, then you don't have to give those exams. So my focus is that in SEMA, I'm talking about different entry routes for a different kind of professional qualification. At the same time, we will be going into all the questionnaires Q&A session at the end. Don't worry. Maybe you can put in the chat box, or maybe we will be discussing with one by one, whatever your questions are there. But according to me, the entry routes for those who are either having professional qualification or work experience, I'm in short telling about that. Mr. Ankit will be telling you about the pricing of those things by the SEMA Institute. I will say that suppose you are a graduate, you are a pure graduate, BCom, BBA done, and you have worked in the industry for at least 6+ years. You have worked in the corporate, but you are not able to grow because actually the professional qualification backing is not there. Now you are at such a juncture of your life that you cannot give for 2-3 years for study, because you are very busy in office. You are already working for 6-7 years in the organization. You have a family to serve. So for that reason, you want to do something which can be done fast, which will be increasing your skills, and at the same time, which is highly valued in the corporates, so that you can take your career to the next level. For those types of students, there is an entry route in CIMA, which is called CSEP route, Senior Executive Route, CSEP route. In that route in SEMA, there are in total 16 subjects, but the student will be given exemptions for 14 subjects. They need to give only 2 exams, management case study and strategic case study. That can be completed in around a total study of 300 to 400 hours, which I will consider if somebody is studying on an average around 1.5 hour to 2 hour daily. So it can be completed maximum in 150 to 200 days. So I will consider that a duration of around 6 to 8 months. If the somebody is BCom or BBA graduate, have work experience of 6+ years, working in the industry, but not getting growth in life because of the professional qualification not there, and that person can increase their skills, by doing the CIMA qualification in a duration of around 6 to 8 months in the route CSAP route, where 14 papers are exempt and the student need to give MCS management case study and strategic case study exam. The second route in this category, somebody don't have 6 years of experience, maybe 2 to 3 years of experience, graduate, BCom, BBA graduate, have 2 to 3 years of experience, not having 6 years of experience. Then also there is a route in CIMA, newly launched in around the last 1 year, FLP route, Finance Leadership Planning route. There also the student need to give only 2 exams, management case study, strategic case study, most probably operational case study also. But then not more than 3 exams. 3 exams, operational, management, strategic case study. For those kind of students, since their work experience is not enough, they are required to solve some assignments relating to the papers which they will be getting exemptions. And those assignments can be completed very fast so that you can cover up some technical portion and then you can give only the case study exam. That can also be completed if you are studying regularly around 1.5 hours to 2 hours in a span of 1.5 years, 1 to 1.5 years. This is for those who are BCom, BBA graduates, have experience, don't have experience. If experience, CSAP route. If don't have experience, then FLP route. Then if somebody is MBA, somebody is having MBA, maybe not having, I will say, proper experience, then they can go in the FLP route, need to give 2 exams, management case study, strategic case study, along with assignment solutions. But if somebody is having MBA, worked in the industry for 6+ years, then again they can go in the CSAP route where they need to give only 2 exams, management case study, strategic case study. Please don't confuse yourself. First of all, I said about graduates not having MBA or any professional qualification, work experience more than 6 years, then 2 exams, management case study, strategic case study. The route is CSAP. CSAP. The second is those who are graduates, less than 6 years of experience, then they can go for FLP route. Then in that case, 3 exams in place of 2, operational case study, management case study, strategic case study. Duration will be around 1.5 years. The third route is for MBA, masters. Those who have done MBA, they will be getting exemptions for all the subjects, just MCS, SCS. They can go with the CSAP route, which is applicable for, I will say, graduates having experience of 6 years, or if they don't have experience, then also since they have done MBA, they will be required to give MCS, SCS only through the FLP route by solving some assignments. That means MBA persons are anyhow required to give 2 exams. And the third route, which for those who are Indian CA member, Indian CWA member, those who have done Indian professional qualification CA, CWA, and they have the membership of the institute. Then they need to give only 1 single exam, which is a strategic case study that can be completed in around 3 months with a study of 150 hours in total. And you are required to study only those things which will increase your knowledge, which will increase your style of working, whether you are working in your own organization or you are going to work for a corporate, then that will increase your potential in the organization and for your future, because the study pattern is totally related with that. Now somebody will think that as some of the questions are raised here, that the annual subscription and all that, why it cannot be waived. The question is that I always say that suppose CIMA Institute, actually not suppose, it's actually all the professional institutes are not for profit oriented organization, but they have the staff, the faculties, the course developer, I will say that management, and so many persons are there. Those persons cannot work in the organization for free. At the same time, the quality of the material, the quality of the exams and everything need to be taken to the next level. Like I said, CIMA Institute is the first institute introduced the online exams in this pandemic all over the world. That always requires some investment because nothing will be coming. So all the international institutes, not only CIMA, are charging annual subscription, and whatever routes I have said, normally the student can avoid that annual subscription if they complete the qualification within the reasonable time. Because if you are CSAP student 2 exams, you can complete in 6 to 8 months. There is no question of annual subscription. So annual subscription is payable once you don't complete the course within 1 year, so that you can be served better by the institute. For that reason, annual subscription is there. And Mr. Ankit will be telling you, to all of you, that whatever the fees are there, what are the offerings by the SEMA Institute, you will be able to justify that whatever the SEMA Institute is doing and the offerings which they are providing, you will be able to understand that at that price, that is, you can say, minimum requirement from the institute side. So for the time being, over to you, Ankit. I will be coming back. Let's Ankit complete the pricing issue, and then I will be telling other things about SEMA.
Thank you, Sharabji, for sharing the details of the routes, what SEMA offers. Now, let's go to the pricing. Let's start with the first route, which is a global accounting pathway route, where eligibility is some people who are CMA India member or CA member, where they can write directly the last paper, which name is Strategic Case Study Exam. It is subjective exam, and the price is £2,500, which includes your registration, your examination fees, your classes support, and your e-study material, all inclusive in under this price. Then I move to the next program, what Sharabji have said it, entry route, I can say, which is the CGMA Senior Executive Program, where any professional having 6 years plus experience, whether BCom or MBA, directly can write the 2 paper of SEMA, and 14 paper will be exempted. And the name of those 2 paper is Management Case Study and Strategic Case Study. Both are again subjective exams, 3 hours long exam, and the price is again the same, £2,500. In this also, it includes registration fees, your examination fees, classes, support, and your e-material of both the papers. And third route is an FLP route, which is Financial Leadership route, which is for the people who wanted to looking for a self-learning mode. It is a platform where all videos, everything, you can see it by your own. You can study at your own convenience, and that will more like on a subscription mode. Yearly subscription is for 1,995, and if you go for the 2-year subscription, it is 2,995. So in a year, suppose anyone who's, as Sharabji said, experience is less than 6 years, nor cannot enter into CSEP route, is entering to FLP route. MBA having 3 years of experience, suppose, can directly write 2 papers, MCS, SCS, but there's 2 papers you have to write in 1 year. If anyone won't able to write, then again the subscription will be charged, or you can buy the 2-year subscription if you're not sure about it. And objective papers, which is below the case study, if you check the syllabus of SEMA, that is more like a self-assessment you need to complete. Once you complete, that's your self-assessment of objective papers, then you're able to write these 2 papers. And the prices I have already shared. So any questions you have? As I see, Sharabji, there are questions which is related to the membership, which you have already addressed, or you want to showcase the case study to them?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi. Hello. Just wanted to know, in the CSAP route, the fees is told at £2,500. Is it for any specific duration, or it will be for the year? Because if I like to join at the end of November, the fees will be remain same.
So see, as I said, it is include. So the fees will remain the same. But let me share one thing, that if you are, so we have a 4 intake exam intake. Basically, we can write the SEMA exams. One is Feb, then May, August, and November. These are the 4 times you can only write an exam. So anyone who's enrolling now can write the Feb exam.
Okay.
Because November exams, the batches are already full, and we can't put you right now. I'm just giving a hypothetical answer. So if the latest is Feb attempt, for that classes will be starting from December onwards, which will be Saturday, Sunday classes, which will be directly provided to you by SEMA.
Yeah, I'm looking for actually May classes.
You can go for the May classes. For that classes, May exam classes
May
will
exam.
start. So,
May exam.
makes that class. So every time whenever you will have an exam, before 2 months you have a classes. So for May, classes will starting from March.
Okay. Okay. The fees will remain same, right?
Fees will remain same, but by enrolling, you can get some material prior. That's what I can say.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
So should I go into showing you the, I mean to say, structure of the paper, how the questions are asked, what type of things they are asking, just for a few minutes? Is everybody okay?
You can thumbs up if you don't want to talk, which is right off your screen, reaction button.
Yes, yes. I'm sharing my screen with all of you. Actually, there is a current November case study exam. I am already taking the classes. For the November case study exam for management case study, the pre-seen material, by SEMA Institute. What is a pre-seen material? I will be telling, just give me few minutes. This is MCS November 2021 pre-seen material. At the same time, there is a pre-seen material separately for strategic case study also. What is a pre-seen material? Suppose this is management case study material. For management case study material, they are giving you information about a company named Frinta. Now, actually, there is no company named Frinta, but all those companies who are engaged in this type of business with actual factual data, this case study has been prepared. And this is about, you can say, a company which is providing, you can say, nowadays we don't want to switch on the fan, switch on TV, or you can say ordering for the domestic consumption goods, closing the door, bell, this, that, all the things which are used in the daily life. There are so many companies in practical world. Amazon is selling the things, Apple is selling those things. Then there are other companies also. With that actual data, this case study material is prepared. This is given to the students around 45 days before the exam. This is freely available on the Google platform, on SEMA website, and everywhere, which is giving you an introduction about the company, introduction about the industry, the history of the products, how they have been developed, a particular company, the competitors, the company's financials, their challenges, you can say crisis, issues, newspaper articles, financials, the business model, and everything. And you are being said as a finance manager of the company. You are said as a finance manager. The company is listed. The company is listed for many years. They are following IFRS. And then what all they are doing in their business. Now, the question is not that you will be asked to prepare PL account, balance sheet, or you need to prepare the cash flow, or you need to calculate NPV, or you need to calculate money, any calculations. It is not a calculation based exam. The exams are purely practical oriented. I will show you, suppose, some of the mock papers which we are doing in the classes. Maybe you will be getting a better feeling. Suppose there is a question paper which is designed for the students for core area A. There are different core areas, and in the core area A, there is a question designed. The question is from the senior finance manager to the CEO of the company, which is, you can say, a communication going on between two persons of the organization. And it is talking about certain situations, certain crisis. And then on the basis of that, it is asking questions. The questions, the answer of these questions are nowhere written. And everybody has his own style of writing the answers. Everybody has his own view. If I will say that the company should be investing further in the business, growing some different types of consoles or growing some different types of gadgets so that it will be more connected with the household equipment. Whether the companies would be doing that or not. What will be the challenges the company will be facing? Whether they have competencies to handle that or not. For that, whatever the funds is required, whether the company has there or not. What is the financial condition of the company? Whether the companies would be going for debt, whether this would be going for equity. If they will be going for debt, what are the challenges they will be facing? If they will be going for equity, then what is the benefits of going for equity? That means it is not a fixed answer for the question. It is very practical oriented. And since since 2015 till now, in these 7 years, whenever I teach CIMA students, then normally the student says that, sir, pehla baar kuch padhai karne. There is something we are studying for the first time in life, which is not, non-interested, which is not giving a feeling. It's pure what you need to manage in the organization. On that basis, the questions are designed. And the questions are 360-degree. They are related with every area of the organization because the job of the management accountant is managing everything. Brain behind the business. We always say that management accountant are brain behind the business. So they will be managing everything in the organization from top to bottom, helping the juniors, connecting with the, subordinates, then helping the board members at senior level and giving the right direction as a leader that what the organization should be doing to handle this situation. If there is an opportunity, how that should be exercised. If there is a risk, if there is a problem, how that can be managed, what course of action should be taken. That way the exams are conducted, which is very interesting to teach and which is very interesting to study and answers. Sometimes the student feels that, sir, I don't feel what to write and all that. Obviously, there are proper guidance given by the CIMA Institute on their websites, how to write a proper structured answers, how to think about them, and the faculties, those who are teaching, they will be taking you pure practical oriented study. Whenever I teach CIMA, I am personally saying about myself, I feel most enjoyment time in my life. Maybe sometimes I'm not enjoying that much with my family. While teaching CIMA, it's a pure enjoyment. One way you can see that there is no course, there is no specific thing that I need to technically know. And one way we need to know everything in life. There is nothing that which I can say that if I don't know, then I will be able to perform in life. I need to know everything. In and out, from top to bottom, from every areas, from every venture, so that I can help the organization to grow. You can see my videos on YouTube, or many you must have seen, like suppose this case study, the first class video, 6 hours, freely uploaded on YouTube. The case study exam, the time, the programming, the planning, then what each printer, what they are doing, how strategic analysis should be done. All those things are freely available on, if you go on YouTube, Prakash Saraf, you will type, you will be able to get 6 hours video on this. Similarly, on a strategic case study, the difference between the management and strategic case study, the word itself will help you. If you are at managerial level, you will be dealing with those issues which are at managerial level. If you are at a strategic level, you are actually right hand, left hand of board members. You are one of the board members. Then you need to think strategic, long term. So that way the case study are designed, and it's the beauty of the course. Somebody will think that, sir, why there are so many exemptions? Normally, when we talk with the students or anybody, and we talk with them, you have worked for 7 years, 8 years in the industry. What do you want? You want that whatever the gap in the knowledge, that should be covered. You should be getting a qualification which has global value, global portability, helping you to get the job, better opportunities, and at the same time increasing your skills. That's the job of the CIMA Institute. And I will say that thank you, the CIMA Institute, Ankit, and all the person that I'm connected with all of you for more than decades. Around 12, 13 years are already over, and I'm enjoying this journey. Maybe till the time when I will be teaching, I will always be connected with the CIMA Institute as in and out everything. Because it is, you can say, inside my blood. CIMA means the blood is going on. So that way, it's a question of, somebody will say that money, monetary and all that. Suppose we are investing 2.5 lakh, 3 lakh something. According to me, when the CIMA persons will be qualified and when they will be getting the opportunities, the payback is 3 to 4 months only. If you invest 2.5 to 3 lakh in your career at a stage where you are already experienced holder and you are getting the qualification in 6 months by investing this, I think you will be getting your money within 3 to 4 months by whatever investment you are doing. I think there is nothing, even in the share market booming now, you will not get the return payback within 3 to 4 months. So think logically as a professional, not as whatever is the price. Think that what SEMA Institute is giving you, what brand value they are giving, what I mean to say, all over the world. SEMA has connected with AICPA Institute. Now they are together. American Institute of Certified Public Accountant and SEMA Institute are together. So it's a qualification which is giving you benefit in, I mean to say, UK, European countries, Middle East, and it is giving you benefit in US, Canada also. Why one qualification? You are getting the opportunity of all over the world. And at the same time, the knowledge which they are imparting, the knowledge which they are giving. So it's upon you to take a diligent call. We are always available at your, you can say, convenience whenever you want. The SEMA Institute, Ankit, me are always there to clear all your doubts, whatever is coming in your mind. We are always there. Just one thing, I think when we said about the exams and all that, maybe when we have not shown the slides, somebody was under confusion. Just 1 second. Sorry, not this one. This is, you can say, a PowerPoint presentation, or you can say a leaflet also, which we always give to the students when they connect with us for SEMA qualification. In the SEMA qualification, there is certificate level, there is operational level, management level, strategic level, 4 levels. In certificate level, the 10 pass out, 12 pass out students need to appear. Operational level, those who are already, I will say, graduates. Then as management level, strategic level, but those who have work experience, they are not giving any exam for certificate level. Operational level, they are giving only one exam, operational case study. Management level, they are giving only one exam, management case study. Strategic level, strategic case study. If 6+ years of experience, MBA, then only management case study, strategic case study. So what we were saying that, suppose you are a graduate and maybe you don't have relevant work experience, then you need to give 3 exams: operational case study, management case study, strategic case study. If you go for 2-year subscription, it is £2,995. If you go for 1-year subscription, it is £1,995. According to me, the student of this category should be going for 2-year subscription, because it will be difficult to complete all the 3 exams in 1 year. So advisable to go for a 2-year. Then if you go for, if I will say that you are a CACWA member, then only strategic case study, which can be completed in 3 months. All levels are exams: certificate level, operational level, management level, strategic level, only strategic case study. One more route is there, that 6+ years of experience. As I was saying, graduates with 6, only 2 exams, management case study, strategic case study. The fees is £2,500 by the SEMA Institute, can be completed in 6 to 8 months. It can be easily managed with your job. But just that you need to be focused that I have to study regularly. If you are not studying, you will not be able to crack the exam, because every course requires a devotion study, whatever is required. So in SEMA Institute, where most of the students are working, it is already written that if you have 6+ years of experience. There is one more route which we have not discussed, that somebody has 12+ years of experience, may not have professional qualification, but working in the organization at a senior level. Then also for them also strategic case study exam is straight away. So different routes are there, designing upon what is your current status, what you are doing, what is your work experience, what is your qualification. Different entry routes are there. I have personally taken a webinar around 15-20 days back, in which I have said everything from top to bottom for 10 pass out, 12 pass out, undergraduates, graduates, with commerce, without commerce, BCom, BBA, MBA. Then you can say professional qualification, part qualified, full qualified. What will be the duration? What are the exam? What is the cost? And everything I said. You can refer that video on our YouTube channel. That is also freely available, because that webinar I took around 2 hours. We will not be able to discuss all these things again, but that is freely available on YouTube. You can refer that. In case of any particular issue, you can connect with us. We will be helping you. There is no problem from our side. Always we are available for everybody. So over to you, Ankit, and
Prakash,
all this. Yeah.
this is Ramkishore. One question. You mentioned about there is something called a C-suite, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between CAs with experience versus that C-suite? I mean, you said both of them have a strategic case study.
Right.
CACWA, there is no question of experience. You are a member, you straight away go into a strategic case study. But suppose you are not CACWA member, you have not done CA.
Only for
Then in
CA.
that case, CS.
No, only CAs.
But yeah, if you are a CA member, then you need to give only strategic case study. That C-suite route you don't have to go. You will be going in.
But when you talked about C-suite, where the fee is also more. What's the
because
in the two?
Let me share the difference, Ramji. So the C-suite route is for the people who are working as a CFO, director of finance, head of finance level role, where they are not a member or a member, that's their own choice. So the difference is, one, the training is here in GPAP route, where CAs and CMAs, where you will get the 2 months of training. Here you will get only the 4 days of training, back-to-back full day training. Trainer will be someone from UK directly, Mr. Adrian Sims, who's going to be trained. So this is exclusive route only for the people who are working as a CFO director, basically. That's what the difference is. And there, anyone who can go even a 2 years experience, if they're holding a CA or, and the difference is, obviously the tutor is a difference and experience is a difference, because when the discussion happens based on the case study with the directors and the CFO, the discussion always goes to a different level. And obviously, when the discussion happens with just experience like 2, 3, 4 years, it has a different level of experience.
But otherwise, in terms of end qualification, it remains the same.
And qualification, it remains the same.
So the qualification is what? Is it going to be CG, MA, AICPA? What exactly is that?
Qualification is CGMA, which stands for Chartered Global Management Accountant, which is being powered by CIMA and AICPA both. So CIMA member and CPA member both write CGMA. It is Chartered Global Management Accountants. And in that you have 2 association, which is associate member and the fellow member. Associate members are the members who have lesser experience of 10 years. And obviously, anyone who have a strategic experience goes for a fellow member of CIMA.
Okay. So ultimately, the person who finishes this course will have a tag of CGMA.
CGMA, absolutely.
We say that normally ACMA and CGMA. ACMA offered by CIMA and CGMA given by AICPA, which is a designation. So a degree as ACMA and a designation from AICPA as CGMA. Both the things you will be getting.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Anybody has any specific query, anything to ask relating to anything for the time being?
And once the person completes the course, what's the renewal fee, subscription fee for renewal every year or year?
It's around £300. This is
You
a
can say
membership
30,000 INR.
INR, yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Someone tell me.
Yeah, but Saraf sir, you show something you have we have to pay for 2,500 plus there are 550,000 of fees, and it's mentioned that we have classes from the SEMA, that is e-classes, right? And it will be beginning before the exam, 2 months before prior to the exam. So what is the difference between your class and that class? It will be simultaneously anyone can do, or it will be a same?
No. The question is that key on the SEMA fees, which we are paying either 2,500 pound or whatever, the offerings are the student registration. The offerings are, you can say, annual subscription of first year. If the student is getting exemptions, that the exemption fee slightly, then the training classes, then you can say that the study material charges. All the things are bundled. Now, normally you understand that in any course, suppose I will talk about Indian CA course. There are so many classes offered by CA Institute also. I think if you have heard,
Yeah.
then there are private faculties also in the market. The student can join with the private faculties. So you can say that are the private persons, and we will be offering our separate classes, our own material, our own resources. For that, we are charging a separate fees, which the student, if interested, can join our classes, and they will be paying separate to Saraf Academy. If the student feel that they should be joining with us, then only that cost will be incurred. If the student feel that they don't require our classes, with the SEMA Institute study support, they can manage, then in that case, they don't have to join with us. But in any case, whatever help you require, I'm always there. It's not that if you are connecting with Saraf Academy, then you have to join my classes only. For your entire journey of SEMA, we are always available because I consider myself as a part of SEMA Institute. So everything, whatever you require is there. Whether you join the classes or not, doesn't matter. No issue at all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And so, Prakash, when are these classes conducted? Is it on a weekend?
My classes actually, as you know, that the class, all the students, those who will be doing, they are fully busy. They are actually busier than us. Maybe you are busier than me. So the classes are always beyond office hour. Either say in the morning, 7:30 a.m., maybe on Saturday, second half, 2 o'clock, maybe on Sunday, maybe on weekdays in the evening, 8 o'clock. Never it will be during office hours. And at the same time, in my classes, all are automatically recorded. So whether you join the class or not, you will be getting by default recordings, which you will be able to see on your laptop, on your machine, anytime when you want. So it's a live plus support of recordings, which the student can refer whenever they like. That. But the live class will never be during office hours. That is assured to all the students.
What's the fee for that?
What is your qualification?
No, I'm a chartered accountant.
So for a chartered accountant, you need to give only one single exam, strategic case study. For that, I'm teaching around, you can say 60 and around 100 hours class. And I'm charging separately 30,199, including GST and all that. So you can say that you will pay to SEMA Institute, say 2,50,000. I'm talking about INR, 2,500 pound, 2,50,000, and then 30,000 extra. So that will be 2,80,000. Hello. Ramakrishna.
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, thank you. Anybody has any specific issue? Akshata, you were saying something? Anything to ask, Akshata?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I get the admission in 1 week or just 2 weeks? Yeah. Can I go for the next course?
No issue. Do you have any specific query to ask for the time being? Anything to know?
No, I understand this all information. I get
Okay.
all information. Yeah.
Okay. I will request to all of you that if you mail us, then you mail us your qualification, your work experience, then specifically we will be giving you the details, what exam you need to give, so that you will not be confused. Along with that, what are the types of materials, what are the things you need to refer, how much you need to study, what is the course curriculum, all things we will be able to share with you. You can go through with them, and then you will be able to take your call in a much better way. So those who have any confusion or Any resources you want, we will be giving you those resources. Just you need to mail us your detail so that we will be guiding you accordingly in the right direction. Okay,
Yes.
Ankit ji, should we wind up?
Lot of disturbance is coming. Now it's fine. So thank you so much, Saraf sir. Thank you so much for the insight you have shared. And candidates, he is a fantastic person. He's teaching SEMA for quite long, and trust me, we have so many candidates with going with these pathways direct route, even paying us. They pay separately to Saraf ji because he's a fantastic teacher. Trust me. So it's all your choice, but our decision is yours, and we have shared the routes, and he have shared the case study also, the insight, how does it look like. And yes, if anybody have more question, you are free to ask. Otherwise, we will be logging out of this session.
Thank you, Ankit ji. Thank you, SEMA Institute, for giving us this opportunity, and all the members, those who have attended this meeting, given your time. I hope that we were able to solve your issues and your queries relating to SEMA course. But we are always in touch. Whenever you want, we are always there. You can say beside you, sitting only and helping you in all the directions, whatever you want. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, candidates. Thank you, students. Thank you,
Thank
Saraf
you.
sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ankit ji. Thank you. Take care. Tada.